Welcome back to the show. We got a great one lined up. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on Twitter, YouTube, and digperspectives.com for exclusive content. Right now, $2.11 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is up 1.8%. 57,300 plus for Bitcoin, 2,300 for Ethereum. Tether market cap 118 billion plus. USDC at the number 6 spot, 35 billion plus market cap. Number 7 spot's XRP at 54 cents. We're up 1.8 on the 24. We're still off by 5.2 on the 7-day. Looking at the range of price very quickly between 53 and 54 cents. We're at 54 cents. We'll keep an eye on it. But today, I want to remind everybody about Miles Franklin, Precious Metals Investments. And today is a video that is going to break down new information and things that are gathering about BRICS Coalition and so many other events happening around that, and understanding that and how much bigger that is getting. You're going to lose your mind here. And remember, we have a BRICS Coalition meeting coming up in just another month and a half here. So let's get started here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do this. So remember, Miles Franklin, Precious Metals Invest, the best prices for precious metals. But here's what you got to do to get it. You email them at, it's info at milesfranklin.com. And in the subject box, you put DIG Gold, dig gold. That's what you do. Once you put dig gold in the subject box, you ask for the special pricing list, and that's what it's going to get you. And you will be happy to get it. And I tell you, you will get your gold quickly, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get started here. In North Korea, you can already buy things with XRP. Watch this example, super cool. Payment completed. There it is. And you know what? It's only going to get better, and it's going to be more assets. It'll be any asset you want, right? You'll be able to do that with. This is the early days of where we're going. It's so cool to see. And it's so cool for me to understand that I'm invested in it, right? That's what I really love, is that I have invested in this before Wall Street has really gotten in here in a manner that I believe. It's funny because like it's not many times that retail gets to front run Wall Street, right? And usually it is the retail money that drives up Wall Street's profits, right? But this time, they'll be doing that for us once we get legislative clarity. That's how I see it. Taking a look at this, we got crises jumping off all over the place. China's financial crisis is the biggest story in the world and is about to trigger a global meltdown. Remember Evergrande? Remember everybody talking about how Evergrande and USD Tether were tied together too? Well, there's more to that, I'm sure. But look, you know, when it comes to the economies of the world, we have a global economy. And there's no way that whatever falls out of whatever financial crisis and meltdown happens in China, it's going to become systemic around the world. We know Japan's in trouble. The United States is certainly in trouble. And many, many other key players around the world as well. Take a listen to America's position right here. Elon Musk breaks it down beautifully.
If Trump wins, and obviously I suspect there are people with mixed feelings about whether that should happen, but we do have an opportunity to do kind of a once-in-a-lifetime deregulation and reduction in the size of government. Because the other thing, besides the regulations, America is also going bankrupt extremely quickly. And everyone seems to be sort of whistling past the graveyard on this one. But
they're all grabbing the silverware. Everyone's stuffing their pockets in the silverware before the Titanic sinks.
That's right.
Well, you know, the Defense Department budget is a very big budget. Okay, it's $1 trillion a year. DoD Intel, it's $1 trillion. And interest payments on the national debt just exceeded the Defense Department budget. They're over $1 trillion a year. just in interest and rising. We're adding $1 trillion to our debt, which our kids and grandkids are going to have to pay somehow. Every 3 months, and then soon it's going to be every 2 months, and then every month, and then the only thing we'll be able to pay is interest. And if this is, it's just it's just like a person at scale that has racked up too much credit card debt, this does not have a good ending.
And there you have it.
And so we have to reduce the spending.
You have to reduce the spending. There's no question about it. And look, interestingly enough, as I have always made the analogy, if you take it to a person, it's like the neighbor knowing they're going to go bankrupt. They file and get the extra 2 or 3 credit cards and still go buy jet skis. Right? They just, at that point, they're like, oh, what the hell? That's what I feel like the pandemic was. It was a way of pricing in the bankruptcy of the world, let alone this nation. If we don't have something done, as he said in this video, through this next election cycle, it's going to be lost. And then we got some real hurt coming. And we got hurt coming anyway. But take a listen to this about how the original gold-backed U.S. dollar was the holy grail and the first ever stable coin. And she's right.
You could argue that the original stablecoin was the Bretton Woods Agreement. Go with me here. The dollar was pegged to a fixed value of gold, and other currencies were pegged to the dollar. The primary difference between the Bretton Woods Agreement and the proposed stablecoin being their underlying assets that they derive their value from. Gold being a true store of value, whereas the US dollar is obviously not. It's at the mercy of government spending and geopolitical risk. Hence the reason that we've lost over 25% of our purchasing power in the last 5 years. The other thing we can learn from this is how the Bretton Woods Agreement ended. Gold convertibility was suspended.
I have directed Secretary Connolly to suspend temporarily the convertibility of the dollar into gold or other reserves.
So the United States was able to keep what gold it had, whereas the rest of the world was stuck with US dollars that really had no value. There was a perceived value because everyone kind of had to keep using them, but they were stuck in a system that chipped away at their purchasing power. Of course, the true wealth in this example was gold. And if all of these countries had held tremendous amounts of gold to begin with instead of USD, they would have protected their wealth instead of being left with a made-up currency. And this exact scenario is why everyone needs to own physical gold today. I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't trust that the Federal Reserve or the US government has my best interest at heart. I don't believe that they want me to protect my wealth outside of the system, because then that means that I have power. If you protect yourself with gold, they can't devalue it in the same way. They can't quietly confiscate it through taxes and inflation.
Absolutely spot on. That's why I tell you, info@milesfranklin.com and put DIG, dig gold, in the subject box to get the absolute best prices for gold for all your precious metals, silver, copper, you name it. They got it all. And this would explain to me, as I covered yesterday, why the CEO of Tether is now interested in getting a gold-backed synthetic dollar now. Yeah. He says the aim of the USDT is to bolster transparency and confidence in the crypto market by linking a digital asset to a tangible commodity like gold. Arduino believes this approach will enhance trust among users. But as I asked yesterday, oh, Arduino, answer me this. You've told me that the attestations are correct. You told me that the reserves for USD Tether are correct. And you guys are buying Bitcoin and then printing Tether, and then Bitcoin goes up and then you buy more Bitcoin. And you told us all to shut up for more than a decade. The reserves were fine. Then you brought in Howard Lutnick from Cantor Fitzgerald, who told us all, don't worry about it, the reserves are there, right? Okay. Then why are we making the big change to a gold-backed stable coin? Because somebody doesn't believe you? The FBI, the Secret Service that you partner with tell you it was in your best interest too? I'm telling you, we don't know where this market really is, ladies and gentlemen, until we understand exactly how Tether will be treated with U.S. legislation. Meanwhile, we know Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, they all working together in the BRICS coalition, which is growing rapidly. Look at this list now. We know that we have seen the UAE and the Iran, Ethiopia and Egypt go ahead and join. They are full members now. And officially invited, Saudi Arabia is still on the fence. And look at the rest of these. Look at all of these. Officially applied for membership are these right here. Holy moly. And expressed interest are these through 29 through 51. That's what we're talking about here. And this is key to understand because look, the next summit coming up in 24 is in October, towards the end of October. I believe it's the 22nd through 24th, I believe. But however, with that being said, 22nd through the 24th right here. But the conversation here is really over the US dollar as the world reserve currency, right? And BRICS fervently seek to dismantle this. The dollar's primary rival is the Chinese yuan, renminbi. Despite making progress in having trading partners execute purchases in the yuan and seemingly determined to overturn the dollar as the leading global reserve currency. So don't get it twisted. This is actually the goal, okay? I know a lot of people have tried to say, they're not going to do it. This is what they meet about several times a year, okay? It's real. This October, BRICS announces a new gold-backed currency. That's what his thoughts are on the matter. And, we'll have to see how it goes, but that is the goal, is to ultimately get there, to offset. And if they do a gold-backed currency for BRICS coalition that they all start using as a reserve asset, it will put tremendous pressure on the U.S. dollar. We're backed by nothing other than the full faith and confidence that we'll print more. Meanwhile, Saudi Arabia's shift to settle oil transactions in yuan instead of U.S. dollars is a game changer. Now, Saudi Arabia's been on the fence about joining BRICS. I believe they've been using BRICS as a stalking horse to negotiate for the U.S. or with the U.S. In other words, either give us all the sun and the moon that we asked for and we'll stay here with the U.S., or we're going to join BRICS. And we're going to be able to do a lot of damage by going to BRICS. Now, we know that they already have an MOU worth $15 billion with BRICS Coalition, which means that if this memorandum of understanding goes well, we don't have to do anything other than just become a partner and a member of BRICS. That's the plan. So there's a shift. And we already know that they've already shifted by using yuan instead of U.S. dollars. It is a game changer, ladies and gentlemen. That's the point of it. I just read it to you, right? So, a shift away from the U.S. dollar is happening in real time. This suggests that the world's second largest economy and the world's largest energy exporter are actively intending to reduce the dominance of the U.S. dollar as the bedrock of the international financial system. Now, this will take time, but it's happening. Separately, two deals would see Saudi Arabia's Aramco supplying two Chinese companies with combined 690,000 barrels. This was this summer. This is from this summer. This is not like from 8 years ago, okay? This is from like June. 690,000 barrels a day crude oil, bolstering its rank as China's top provider of the commodity. It has been reported Saudi Arabia is also in talks with Beijing to settle with yuan instead of the dollar. Aramco is one of the largest oil producers in the world and is fully owned and controlled by the Saudi Arabian government. You see why it's such a big deal if Saudi Arabia joins BRICS? Things happen slowly, then suddenly they are here. Gold, the immortal constant, always takes center stage through monetary resets. Is it at the heart of it? It is at the heart of it all, and Gold Telegraph has got this absolutely right, I believe. Although I would like to add one thing, and it's this from Mr. Mann. It is, back in the day, Ripple themselves, this is Brad Garlinghouse on stage in Korea, and a lot of us have seen this, but he is going to answer the true vision of everybody at Ripple in the early days. And I believe that this true vision and straight, direct language scared the hell out of governments and regulators so much that they had to alter their language and verbiage in order to get to where they are today. That's my personal opinion, but that's what I really believe.
Cover once the XRP service scales to a global full scale, or would there be a shortage?
Well, so when XRP was created, this actually was created before Ripple existed. The creators of XRP decided there'd be 100 billion units because they saw it as a...
One second.
Because they saw it as a, rather than having a smaller number with a very high price, they saw it as something they wanted to be effectively a global reserve currency.
A global reserve currency. How about that one? That's the goal. And in a world that I just showed you is clearly pivoting to some new positions, I believe the need and demand for a bridge asset to serve as a global reserve bridge currency is in great demand. We are on the precipice of it, I believe. And look at this. XRP to USD chart from Lud XRP Flair here. He says, yes, it's that simple. Just imagine how it felt like to hold XRP on March 11th on 2017. And I don't have to imagine because I did. But what I have to remember is that through 17 and 18, I didn't sell. In 2021, I didn't sell. This time around, I'm taking some profits, baby. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. We're going into the Freedom Zone. I hope you will join us. You're going to want to come with us today. We got some great stuff for you. You can come on in too. Go to digperspectives.com. Click the Freedom Zone. Come on in for next to nothing. You'll get all the daily videos on YouTube with 0 Google ads, plus extra content that we touch on, which is outside of crypto, and sometimes censorship issues exist too. But this is a great place to have a conversation. Or join us in the DPMG and get the Freedom Zone for free. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. We're going into the Freedom Zone. Come on in.